Chaplain Jay here with Curtis Fuller. You work with the defensive backs or defensive
Yes.
teams and kind of work with operations and take care of all the guys. Tell us a little bit about your position and a little bit about your faith.
Okay. What I do for the Packers is I'm kind of a defensive assistant. I work with the safeties, actually, Darren Perry and I. And Joe Witt is our corners coach, and we work for, of course, Dom. And basically what we do is we all three kind of get together and help the team devise a game plan from a secondary standpoint. And I actually do the playbooks and we work practice and do those type of things. So that's kind of my role with the Packers. And it's been a great ride to get here.
Tell us about, when did your faith begin? I mean, when did Christ become real for you?
When I was a young man, probably I would say 11 or 12 years old, I'm going to say it like this, quote unquote, gave my life to Christ. But when I really got deep and understood who he was and what he's done for me, about 21 years old. I was a senior in college. Some things had happened and with my walk, and really tried to give the Lord everything I had from that point on. And it's been a burning desire to do the right thing and be with Christ. And it's a work in progress every day, as you would know. Some days he says, I'm going to work on you today. And a day may seem like weeks and years, and then other days he said, you know what, I'm going to take care of you. And he's done that for me.
Being behind the scenes, and I work with guys like yourself who you're not always in the public eye. But tell me, you quiet leaders behind the scene in your faith. How does your faith help you encourage these guys who may be going through some adversity, guys on IR, guys who've kind of given up a little bit of hope? What are some of the things you kind of share with them to give them faith to keep on and believing and trusting?
Well, I think what you said, the one thing is hope. To understand that this is temporary, what you're doing, but also to help those guys understand that, the Lord can help you through this. And it's not always the help that you want. It's not always the avenue or the journey that you want, but he will help you get where you want to get to. Be strong, be persistent, and be patient, because the Lord's time is not always our time. And I think we lose sight of that. And even as a coach, helping these young men through the things they get involved in, through dealing with their families, their kids, and it's just being a leader there, being an example, and trying to display my character. Sometimes it's not always what you say. Sometimes it's how you do it and how you approach those guys, and that's really what I think the Lord has allowed me to do in Green Bay, is to kind of be behind the scenes a little bit, and if they have questions, answers, concern, and let them understand and know that, hey, I've been there. And the Lord will help you through it. Now you got to be patient sometimes, but the Lord will help you through those things.
That is so good stuff. I travel and I speak to men all over the country, and I've coined the phrase "finish strong." And when you hear the word "finish," when you hear those two words, "finish strong," what does that say to you?
When I hear finish strong, it's finish the race. And the race may be tomorrow, it may be 3 years from now, but keep that faith, endure those times. Because some people don't finish when it gets tough, and they want to turn their back on the Lord and say, you're not going to take care of me. You take care of me in the good times, but not the bad times. And I encourage those guys. You got to finish that. It's no different than finishing the season. No different than finishing a play that's 30 seconds. You got to finish the race, and that's a daily struggle, and that's a daily battle, and sometimes it's an hourly thing. And just to encourage those guys daily and hourly to finish that race and be strong and courageous at the end.
How important it is for a person to know the direction God has for them in their life.
I think it's very important, and as well as I do, Mike, playing this sport, you learn a lot of stuff, and you learn that if you have a great direction and you understand what the prize is at the end, it will help you get, the Lord will help you get there. And I think through this whole deal, we've really tried, my family and I, to keep our eyes on the Lord and understand, for us to understand that he will take care of us and he will guide us in the direction that he wants to go, not where we want to go. Yeah. And I think that was the biggest challenge for us, is that the Fuller family had this direction, and the Lord said, no, why don't we go to Ford Christian a little bit? Why don't we go out to Oakland and let me work on you a little bit there? Why don't we bring you back here for 6 or 7 months and let's work with some high school kids, and now let's go up to Green Bay. Yeah. And to understand those type of things in that journey, and understand that the Lord wants us he wants to put you in a certain direction, and let's just ride that ride and let him be in control. It's been the best part about it.
hey, if you don't mind, just through all of this, your career as a player, as a coach, just where does God fit in all of this to you?
Oh, back in 1980, he's been a part of my life since 1980. I grew up in the church just like a lot of people have, and my mom was the choir director in the church and made me go to church every day, or every Sunday, every Wednesday. Every time the church was open, I showed up with her, and I never got to stay home and watch The Wizard of Oz or anything like that when I was growing up. And I think as a youngster, you kind of get away from that because you think you know more than your parents,
Right.
And I was kind of that guy, and I got away from that until I was 24 years old. And when I was in Seattle, I asked God to take over my life. And I think sometimes God puts us in situations where that all we can do is depend on Him. And He put me in that situation, and it's been that way ever since.
As a linebackers, you have a great quarterback that extends the play, but the team you're about to play has a quarterback too that does a pretty good job at extending that play. What do we have to do to win it?
We've got to try to contain him a little bit. I don't think we'll ever be able to totally contain him, but we've got to put enough pressure on him where he's going to fill us, and we got to hit him a few times. I mean, Mike, as long as you played, that quarterbacks are different when you hit them, and we've got to put pressure on him, and we've got to be physical, and we've got to hit the quarterback, and hopefully that will affect his accuracy a little bit. Yeah. And if we do that, then we have a chance.